You're listening to the World's Team Podcast. It's not just America's team, Cowboys Nation. It's the world's team. Now, here are your hosts, Paul Stewart and Mike Poland.
How about them Cowboys?
What is up, Cowboys Nation? Welcome to the World's Team Podcast, brought to you by the Bleav Network, powered by FanDuel Sports Betting. Today's episode is sponsored by Cowboys Experience for stadium tours, player meet and greets, and so much more. Please use the discount code WorldsTeam2025. I am Paul Stewart, and joining me as always is my co-host, Mr. Mike Poland, writer for bloggingtheboys.com. Be sure to go and check him out. But how are we doing, bro?
Good. Little tired again. But this is it now. Like, once preseason games start, you've got now the next week off, which is nice. That's lovely. Lovely to have the week off. But then you just know that's it. So then you've got Thursday night football, 9 o'clock. And like we're planning on doing these post game reviews right after the game. So we're gonna look even more exhausted.
We're gonna look like the Dawn of the Dead, essentially. That's probably the best reference I could think of right now. But yes, folks, the Dallas Cowboys, wow, they won the game 31-13 against the Atlanta Falcons, the final preseason game. But yes, so just to give you a quick recap of what's been happening with the Cowboys in terms of that game is, let me get my segments here. So the Cowboys have dominated all spectrums of the game, from offense to defense and special teams. But yeah, Mike, what is your first one-line takeaway from the game?
Better. That's the best way to put it. You got your depth pieces on, and they all played better.
Yeah, everyone did. And I mean, we can go in. We're going to go more into detail but for me, it was just from an overall standpoint, like from offensive play, rushing, passing, defense, edge rushing, even stopping the run for, I would say, 75% of the game was far better, and special teams as well on kickoff and on on punt, not punt return, but on punt, because we didn't really give too much away overall. In comparison, not in comparison to what we did before. So it's a bonus. It's in the right direction where we want to go. So if I was Brian Schottenheimer, I'd be very happy based on what I saw. And it's going to give the coaching staff, Jerry and Steven, a lot to think about who's going to be part of this 53-man roster.
And here's the biggest takeaway for me, right? So we talked about, you just touched briefly on Schottenheimer. And this was like my very initial thought on everything. And I know it's just a preseason game, right? And with Schottenheimer, we've always said it's not when things are all good and going right with Schottenheimer that we want to know about. We want to know about when things are going wrong. So what we've seen in preseason is we've seen the Cowboys be dominated twice, very handedly. And I know it's just preseason, and I know it's just like you're trying to figure out depth and what have you. But on the coaching side of it all, what I was looking at is I've seen 2 games now where the Cowboys have followed. How does Schottenheimer react to that and pick up a team that is floundering and having issues? How is he able to redirect the team and put the train back on the track? And what we saw very, very obviously in the Falcons game, and I know what you can't take too much, but this is my big takeaway on this, is you've seen Schottenheimer manage to bring the team and bounce it back. That we've had issues, and now we're back. That's my biggest takeaway and the biggest win. Forget the result. The fact that they managed to pull that team from 2 very bad losses to all of a sudden one gigantic win.
I totally agree with you. There was a lot of questions, especially in the mainstream media, pretty much saying it's Cowboys, even though we're not playing our starters, etc., different ball game when it comes to Thursday night football, when we're going to be playing the Philadelphia Eagles, it's going to be a completely different ball game. But you know what the mainstream media is like? They like to hound in, they like to dismiss the Dallas Cowboys in any way, shape, or form for TV clicks and views. We're seeing that. Like, don't get me wrong, the 2 preseason games prior to that, the Rams and the Ravens, was very woeful. It really was. But this game was a significant improvement. It's eased my worries that little bit better. Like, and then I'm going to dive into it because the next segment we're going to be talking about all the positives about this game, like what players really stood out, etc. So let's have a wee look at that right now. So first things first, Joe Milton, 10 out of 18, 132 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions, a 97.5 rating, plus 4 carries for 33 yards and a rushing touchdown. So that's kind of what we expected from Joe Milton, really.
True. And I mean, what has been an issue for Milton in those first 2 games? Everyone talks about, Bazooka Joe. Is the best way. It's the best way to describe it, and that is what we see. But a lot of that is coming down to bad footwork. That his feet are kind of like out of sync with his body, so he's strong arming the ball to get it delivered. But what we saw in this game is more control, and it wasn't perfect, but it was definitely most definitely improved. Balls getting where they need to go, being delivered on time and accurately. Just like you got to see some variance of tempo because his feet were in the correct position. That for me, along with what's the best way? But he seemed less hurried, more kind of like, all right, whatever. So because of that, it was less hurried.
I think a lot of that will kind of play detriment to the offensive line as well. I think there was only like 1 false start, and that was on a Cornelius, I Bleav.
Yes, it was.
So, but overall, when you really think about it, like I think we did pretty well from the offensive line front. Like Hoffman and TJ Bass did some really nice double team blocks to really open up the lanes for the running backs. And speaking about running backs. So Phil Mafah, only two carries in the game for 16 yards. One of them was a 15-yard rush, and obviously he got the goal line touchdown as well.
Yeah,
like he got pushed in by his offensive lineman to help seal the deal, get those 6 points.
That's it. Go on.
I was just going to mention also Jaydon Bleav. 9 carries for 25 yards, 1 touchdown, longest being 13 yards. He also converted a 4th and 1 with an 18-yard bust.
Yeah.
I
mean, we'll go in order of how you put them. Phil Mafah, what I like about that, feet keeping on moving. He's motivated to keep churning, keep moving. I know. Motor. Yeah, and I think because me and you, when we spoke about Mafah and we talked about his usage and how his style works, is we were like, imagine a guy like Mafah in the red zone. It's second and 5 on the 5-yard line. What should we do? Just chuck Mafah in there.
We've been saying that for weeks, mate. We've been saying that. It's like, if we're in that situation in the red zone, it's like 3rd and short. Put Phil Mafah in there because he will keep those legs running. He's got that high motor. He will gain those dirty yards to get over the line of scrimmage, get that over the line to get in that first down or get the touchdown. So I was really, really happy with that. I think that solidified Phil Mafah, especially being in this 53-man roster. Which we will talk about the 53-man roster in the next episode because we're going to find out when it's revealed. That's the next thing, and kind of give our reaction to it. But Jaydon Bleav, for Jaydon Bleav, he had a wee bit of a shaky start.
It's his debut. It's his debut, so I can get that.
His debut, I get that, and I Bleav he did kind of leave the game with a bit of an ankle injury, if I'm right.
Yes, and the important thing is that he was seen hobbling after the game, and there was some question marks on his condition after the game. The good news is Nick Harris heard a teammate ask him how he is, and he said, I'm totally fine. It's just a bump. So it's nothing to panic about. So
yeah. Thank God.
Yeah.
Because we need all hands on deck when
True.
we're going to Philadelphia. There's no
Yeah.
question. But yeah, I have to say, big difference in terms of our run game. We were actually establishing the run. We made some good strides. Like, I thought it was actually quite good. We will talk about this Vaughn, but I'm going to put that in the next segment.
Okay, that's fine.
For the start down. He
Yeah.
had some good, like, don't get me wrong, he had one or two good moments, but
You
I
had
think,
two good moments too.
yeah, but I think overall, collectively, I think his stock is down, and we will break into that.
Like
But-
that's the best way. The noise I just made is the best way you can try describe do something is just that's it. It's
yeah.
that's it. It's sucking air through your teeth. But carry on.
Well, here's the one I'm really excited to talk about: wide receivers and tight ends.
Okay.
So Ryan Fournoy, I thought he had a fantastic game. Four receptions for 45 yards, led the team in catches. Rivaldo Fairweather made a fantastic play in the game.
And we talked about him last week. Yeah.
Yep. So recorded 2 catches for 41 yards, longest being that 25-yard dart from Joe Milton. It was beautiful to watch. Both me and our colleague Lauren on UK Cowboys fans were talking. We were like, wow, that was impressive. So Jalen Brooks emerging from the ashes, getting his name out there. So it's like, hey, don't forget about me. I'm still here. Got 2 receptions, 55 yards, longest being 29. I mean, that was a big play.
Good touchdown catch as well, mind. Tough touchdown catch to make that.
Yep. Tayshaun Holden, 2 catches for 22 yards, and Princeton Fan with 1 reception, 7 yards, and had a massive blocking impact for the run game and helping out everyone else.
Yeah.
I thought he was fantastic, Princeton Fan. But yeah, give me your thoughts.
Yeah, Brooks was nice to see because the Cowboys made a lot of fuss in trying to get him. We spoke about the wide receiver position on the UK Cowboys show last week, and we kind of went through, 6 wide receivers. Most of us were like, Brooks, maybe. But I think this game now kind of, it kind of swings the gate slightly the other way. It's great because it means you've got quite a conundrum now in. It's not so much a wide receiver 1, 2, and 3. I think that's fine. It's 4, 5, 6. Some people will even argue wide receiver 3 is a huge question mark, and I would agree with that too. Not a question mark in do we have a wide receiver 3 or are they talented enough? More that who is wide receiver 3.
For me, I think I think that would be Turpin's role essentially because we did hear an interview during the game, like he doesn't want to be that gadget player. They've had installs, they get him being more involved, etc. So I thought that was quite eye opening from that perspective. So that was good. So that was a good wee interview on the sideline during the game. I thought that was quite interesting.
Yeah. I think yes, I agree. Tolbert is still that massive question mark. Like the issue is
I really do.
Tolbert is undoubtedly he has something that he can bring to the table. The issue is you look at all the depth pieces. We'll talk about another one in a moment, but you look at the depth pieces that are around him, and you look at preseason, you're like, this guy's outperformed him. This guy's out, and you just keep going through it, and you're like, oof.
Well, not just in the games, but just in general on.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Camp.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Just this preseason, not just the games, like that overall, he's kind of been outshined from by the other guys, and
we said this, Mike, like at the start, like this is Tolbert's to lose.
Yes, that's right.
Essentially,
said that months ago.
If Tolbert just kind of like keep progressing the way he is, he'll be there. But with other guys, likes of Turpin, likes of Brooks, likes of Ryan Fournoy, who I think has made massive strides to really amplify himself up in contention in that way. I'm worried. Well, I'm worried for Jalen Tolbert, but I think he will be one of those surprise cuts.
And think about this as well, that there was some turnovers during training camp.
Yeah.
That when Dak was throwing to Talbot, it was something that cropped up with not massive regularity, but there were times or the ball wasn't quite getting to Talbot as it wants. So what you've got to look at is the connection between Dak and Talbot also an issue? Because if it is, that lowers his stock even further, because in training camp, we're seeing Dak hitting Brooks, Holden,
Fornoy, Perkins, Lamb. We're
you see them all. Turpin, especially. You're seeing it all. You're seeing the chemistry and the connection, but Talbot's not there. It makes it worse for him.
I mean, we're seeing more continuity from that perspective between Dak and his wide receivers, but the odd one out does seems to be Jalen Talbot.
Definitely.
But kind of moving on, looking over to the defensive side of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
This is fun. So, and fair play to Mike Smith, leading the tackles with 8 tackles, 1 pass deflection. He was leading defensive leader with all of that. Buddy Johnson, again, someone I've been really excited to see. He's actually been prominent. He was second with 7 tackles. Then Robert Rochelle, I thought he had a great game in terms of coverage and stuff like that. Had 7 tackles, 2 pass deflections, and an interception. So that was a big night for him. Shemar James, constantly improving. Like I'm really excited to see how this linebacker core shapes up with bringing Overshown back in. But
do you remember the LSU defender you quite like, Jabril Cox?
Yes.
Reminds me a little bit of Shemar James. In the sense he's the...
Well, what version of Jabril Cox? He was at LSU or the one he was at the Cowboys? We've seen two completely different players.
Well, the Cowboys Jabril Cox was met with an ACL injury, which kind of took away what he was good at. But I mean the LSU, that lean linebacker, very good in coverage, shifty. You see that with Shemar James. Not completely, just there's a hint of Jabril Cox in there.
Yeah, but just to kind of finalize with Shemar James, he had 5 tackles, an interception, really flashed out there. Perrion Winfrey, defensive tackle, 4 tackles, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss, 2 QB hits, so disruptive up front. I thought he had a really great game, especially in terms of the run defense in the first few quarters. I thought he would look really good. And next after that, oh boy, James Houston. Wow, he made a statement last night. 3 tackles, 1 sack, 2 tackles for loss, 1 QB hit. He was by far the best pass rusher on our roster last night. And finally, Justin Barron, 6 tackles, 1 QB hit. And our rookie trying to state his case. So, but yeah, give me your thoughts, Mike.
James Houston really has impressed. The last few weeks. Yeah. Makes him extremely interesting in what do you do with the roster gymnastics come the initial 53 and the final 53, because they kind of move players around or what have you, or they tell them don't move, don't go anywhere, you're going to be on the team, while they kind of juggle things around to get their practice squad and their main roster solidified. Houston's going to be one of those guys because he has shown enough. He's shown that he's got something there. It's whether you feel confident enough to take that into the regular season on a permanent basis, where you're just like, ooh. So I think he's going to be one of those guys who's, one of that guy where you put him on the practice squad and you call them up.
I think he might make it, to be honest.
I think he may. And he's a rotational piece that's in there. Especially you could use him on special teams.
See situational.
Situational, possibly, yeah.
Say, for example, if Parsons is not on the field, you'll have Ezraku. You could put another guy like James Houston on the other end and still have that double-edged sword, essentially. Don't get me wrong, we still got Fowler.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
We still got these other guys, but it just gives you more options to work with your defense, and that would be great for Aaron Whitehorton. It would be great.
Yeah, it's a sort of NASCAR package, if you wanted to go down that road with him, without a doubt. Shemar James is the guy for me, really, because, here's a question for you. This linebacker core at the moment.
Oh man,
yeah,
I'm excited. I'm excited to see how things develop with the linebacker. The one thing
it keeps improving.
it keeps him. Although we haven't seen Kenneth Murray yet, we haven't seen that much of Jack Sanborn. Like, and in terms of the other starters as well, like that's the only thing. Like, it still leaves that question. But in terms of the guys that are depth wise, I feel so much more comfortable. Whoever we bring in as that supporting piece, I think they'll be able to do the job quite comfortably. That's my opinion.
And Shemar James as well. He's a perfect guy for special teams. Like, even if you're like, we will have him on special teams and we can rotate him in on certain types of situational moments of the game. I think, and that's a nice way, kind of like how they used or what they did with Maurice Leafoe as they were trying to bring him in. Unfortunately, he had to come in because Overshown went out. But by that time, because he'd had so much time playing in a support role, he was kind of like hit the ground running. I think you could do that with Shemar James. Fingers crossed, though, it's not because of injury that he has to come in. But that's the perfect situation, I think, for him.
Yeah, definitely. Moving on to special teams. So Brandon Aubrey, Mr. Automatic.
Yeah.
One field goal, 64 yards.
It was a bomb as well.
Right down the middle. Oof. And 4 for 4 on extra points. Perfect preseason for Brandon Aubrey. Absolutely flawless. I'm going to mention this. Jalen Cropper, 2 punt returns for 21 yards, averaging 10.5 yards. Brian Anger, 5 punts, 45.4 average. His longest been 53 yards long. But yeah, I mean, nothing really much else to add in terms of special teams, really. Like,
no, but what I find interesting, because we're going to talk about him in a moment, is Deuce Vaughn. But it's interesting we see them utilizing Cropper a little bit more. Like,
I think that's a sign. That's a sign, I think.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, is it a sign, or is it that it's like, listen, guys, when we come to trying to figure out this 53-man roster and we don't have Deuce Vaughn on it, who's like a nice backup return guy that we could try? And they're like,
Cropper.
Let's try trade Jalen Cropper. Let's see what he has. And I think that's what they would do in here, as like just to test the waters and see what was there.
I mean,
it happened.
I'm not trying to diss Deuce Vaughn, but Moreno Cropper has that more physicality towards him.
Because he's bigger.
That's it. I think he'll be able to take on those guys coming in like a bat out of hell, take on those hits a bit better compared to like Deuce Vaughn. Like, but speaking of like Deuce Vaughn, moving on to our next segment is the stock down, Mike.
Yeah.
And players that are in the bubble, are they going to make the team or not? So before we do Deuce Vaughn, I do want to mention we do need to talk about Mazi Smith.
Yes.
So
I got a question for you before you start. I got a question for you before you start, because this will make a nice thing for people to ask. Mazi Smith had his chance in this final game to put confidence back into fans. Has he done that in this final game, or right now is he a lame duck?
Sadly, it's like it's a lame duck. For me personally, I think it's sad to say, but despite he had 3 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, but that 1 tackle for loss is because he was left on block.
Yeah, so, it was great to see, because you're like, but you go back and watch the highlight. When you watch, it's
like it was just left unattended. It's like, well, you're just basically like, it's like walking a kid across, elderly person across the road, you know what I mean? But he did struggle to anchor. Like he could well possibly be in contention of maybe trade or being cut. Like, I know there's implications if we do cut him. I think it was like a $6 million cap hit or something like that.
Yeah.
So,
but you got to wonder if it's worth it. But here's the problem, the conundrum. Osa Odigizua. Okay, there's 1 defensive tackle. Solomon Thomas. There's another one. You go Jay Toyer.
Well, they're different. Like,
no, I know they're different. I know where you're going. But like, I'm just like saying, you've got to think of the 53-man roster here. So you go defensive tackle. You've got those 2. You say Jay Toyer, he shouldn't have. Perrion Winfrey, definitely shouldn't have. That's 4 defensive tackles. Now you go,
Well,
Do we add Mazzy to this?
I'm going to refine this a bit better. Solomon Thomas, Osa Resort are defensive tackles.
I know.
Jay Toya, Perrion, Winfrey are nose tackles.
I know. Yeah.
I just want to make
I'm just
sure.
talking like inside guys.
The interior D-line.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
So
right.
it's like, if you're doing that and you've got your 4 guys there, do you bring Mazzy in still? Because he hasn't shown you, and these other guys have shown you. Perrion Winfrey definitely has. And then you go, we've got the litmus paper right here. Perrion Winfrey and Mazzy Smith in this game. Winfrey shines, Mazzy flounders.
Yeah. Sadly, and when you kind of look back, a couple of days ago when Mazzy got interviewed, you can tell his demeanor. It just feels like I'm trying to find the right word here. He just feels discouraged. He feels like it's really laying on top of him. I don't think there's no so much motivation, but he understands the pressure. In a way, I feel bad for Mazzy, but at the same time, I don't because he needs. It's only him and him himself needs to step up. Yeah, he may have had some bad guidance from previous defensive coordinators, previous strength and conditioning coaches, or off seasons he's had. Definitely, which hindered his development. But end of the day, he should actually realize this isn't working for me. I need to do something that's going to work. So far, what he's been trying to do hasn't clearly worked. And sadly, as much as it pains me to say that, I think Mazzy Smith is not going to be part of the Dallas Cowboys, I think, personally.
The only thing that's going in his favour for him to stick around, because this is his 3rd year, is that do you really give up on a first-round guy this early? And it would be crazy to cut him. It would be.
But you would $6 million on the cap.
You would at least try and get
a 6th round or
anything. Yeah.
Anything.
Just so that they can carry the bucks. They take it, and you get at least something back in return. Because that's what you got to do. I was really hoping, because we you know me, I'm honest, and I'll say I haven't stuck up for Mazzy, but what I have said is that you always have to give these guys benefit of the doubt. The inside guys, same on the offensive line, got to give them that 3rd year to find out what they are. We're in that 3rd year, and we're finding out what Mazzy is. Mazzy right now is too easy to beat. Offensive linemen that just had their way.
You name it. It's so so from what I can see, we haven't drafted that player that we saw back at Michigan, which was that disruptive force, especially in the run defense. It's a complete polar opposite what we've seen. Don't get me wrong, like I said, last year, we did see some good glimpses of him. It's okay, there's something here.
Yeah.
But he hasn't taken that positive and elevate themselves to try and get up to that point where we would expect him to be. He hasn't done that, unfortunately.
I agree.
But moving on, Deuce Vaughn. So 10 carries for 42 yards. Sounds fine.
Sounds sexy, yeah.
But compared to Bleav and Mafah, I think he's behind. And not just that,
Definitely.
It was a consistent of multiple 1 yard gains, 2 yard gains, getting caught up in the middle of the line, etc. He had some good outside runs that kind of helped him and elevate him that way, but I think the whole fairy tale of Deuce Vaughn, it's a great story.
Yeah.
His dad phoned him, who actually works with the front office, works with Jerry and Stephen. Phoned Deuce up saying, "How would you like to come work with me?"
It was the feel-good moment.
It was a great feel-good moment. Everyone loved it. But I think we need to get serious here. Is Deuce a guy who's going to help contribute to what we've already got right now and help us elevate to that next level to try and pursue the Super Bowl? And me personally, mate, I don't think that's going to happen.
No. What is telling? Right. So first of all, let's go statistically. You say about that, you go, 10 carries, 4.2 yards per carry. Okay, that's fine.
Okay. Yeah, 4.2, yeah.
Yeah. And you go, that's not so bad. That's okay. And you go, okay. But here's the problem. He had 1 carry of 12 yards. All right. And I know people hate doing this, but let's do it just as a statistical exercise. You take that 1 12-yard carry away, he goes down for 9 carries at only 3 yards a carry. And that's just not good enough. Yep. There's not enough explosive plays. Like you say, there's a lot of 1-yard carries in there. What bumped everything up is just that 1 carry. And I know people say, well, he's still got that carry. And it's like, yeah, fine. Okay. But what I'm talking about is we're not looking at can he make explosive plays, because we know that he can, but can he do things on a consistent basis? And what that shows you statistically of the 9 carries is no, he can't. Mm-hmm. There's nothing you can do with Vaughn to help him elevate how good he is as a player, because his biggest setback, his biggest weakness is pure size. He's not even he's bang on 5'5", very, very small.
It's not
you can't train size into him.
I thought it was taller than that.
No, he's the shortest guy currently in the NFL.
Jeez.
And I think in NFL history, he ranks something like the 12th shortest, something like that.
That's crazy.
And there's nothing you could do. You can't go into training camp and go, right, your biggest weakness is this. Let's try and work on this, because you just can't. You can't make him taller.
Yeah. Just to add to that as well, like when you compare him to like Phil Mafah and Jaydon Bleav, like the difference between is like obviously they've got the size is the difference. Mm-hmm. When you've got size, you can increase your strength levels that way as well. But you
can absorb tackles.
Exactly, but we saw that especially when it came to Jaydon Bleav, like the point where he got that was an 18-yard. Let me just double check. It was he converted the 4th and 1 with an 18-yard burst. Like an 18-yard where normally if you're on a 4th and 1, it's going to be so stacked in. Everyone's going to be coming down to try and stop the run. It's a giveaway, but he managed to burst right through that and gain 18 yards. So, but the point I'm trying to make is like when you come when these guys like Bleav and Mafah are run, they can keep on going and going and going. But with your size disadvantage, it's only going to take you so much. Like think of it like an elastic band. The bigger the elastic band, the bigger it grows. The smaller elastic band, if you try and pull it up to the same length, it's going to snap.
Yeah. And the other thing that was telling to me as well is that there's 2 running backs who are kind of up for starting roles that have 0 snaps in that game. Obviously, one was Javonte Williams. The other is Miles Sanders. So to me, they're like, we don't need to see Miles Sanders, just put him to the side. That's fine. That to me says that they're very strongly thinking Miles Sanders is on their 53-man roster. That means if you were to carry 4 running backs.
I called it.
Yeah. If that's how they're going, that's fine. I'm not going to argue with it. I was dubious whether he would make it. Because I think Jaydon Bleav is a better version of him as what he is.
I agree. I think what will likely happen, given the assessment on, I know the thing about Jaydon Bleav's ankle injury at the moment is nothing serious, but I think Sanders is there for now. But I think in theory it will be Williams, Jaydon Bleav, and Phil Mafah as your 3-set running backs. I think that's what will eventually happen.
Yeah, eventually. Yeah, more than likely. But so if you was to say they were to take 4 running backs, because they're definitely not taking 5, because we know that they want to go long on offensive line. That is for sure. So if that's the case, 4 running backs, definitely not 5. Your 4 is, so we've got 2 already that we know of. So then that means Jaydon Bleav is our next one that we know of. So then you go, well, it's between Mafah and Vaughn. Well, to me, Mafah has outshined Vaughn in so many different. The only thing that's going in Vaughn's favor is the punt returns and the kick returns. But we just spoke about them kind of dilly-dallying with Cropper to see what was available. You've also got other guys who can do return work as well. So it is very tricky. I don't know where this lands Vaughn. I said it a couple of weeks ago. I'm out on the Vaughn project. I put it on Twitter.
Yeah, I'm the same. Well, I guess we've kind of dipped and dived of our next segment unintentionally, which is what it means going forward. So from what I can see, the QB room, Joe Milton has now solidified himself as QB2. after last night's performance. Running back room, Mafah has trended up. Bleav, if he's healthy, he'll be right in there. And
by the sounds of the health thing, I think is fine from what I've heard.
Yeah, from that perspective, yeah. And obviously, Deuce Vaughn's failing. Wide receiver depth, Fournoy, Brooks, and tight end depth in terms of Fairweather, all making strong cases to be part of this team. Defensive wise, linebackers and pass rush looked a bit more stacked, which was James, Houston, and Winfrey. The D-line run at the end was still a wee bit suspect. If it kind of looked like there was a lot of couple of cracks there and there. Atlanta
conditioning, I think you can put that down too.
Possibly. And finally, special teams. Aubrey was locked in.
It's a no-brainer, yeah.
and generally, special teams coverage was all strong overall. So I think that was good overall. Do you think that's a fair assessment?
Yeah, I know. I like it. I think the assessment on all of that is exactly how I would go with it. So I'm totally fine there.
Yeah. All right, mate. This is time for your segment. We're bringing it back. We're bringing back Mike's Would You Rather. So take it away, brother.
All right. So Jake Ferguson, Luke Schoonmaker. I think we're fine there.
Yes.
Tight end 3. Would you rather, from what we've seen, Brevin Spamford, John Stevens Jr., or the rise of Rivaldo Fairweather as the third tight end? Who would you rather?
I'm going to be...
I told you this would be a tough one.
I'm going to say it. I'm going to go for Fairweather here.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So, would you put Spamford... Practice squad, yeah? Okay. But what about John Stevens Jr.? What are we doing with him?
Well, you're forgetting one other guy, Princeton Fant.
I know there is Fant. I kind of just left him out because it would. I didn't want to dilute things down too much.
I know, but I think for a tight end 3 is probably the toughest job for the coaching staff. I think because
you need him to be a big blocker.
Well, Fant is that.
Yeah.
Like that will definitely assist you in the run game for sure. But in terms of giving, like, if Ferguson's out, you've got Fairweather, who seems to be quite a weapon, especially in the passing game. So, and like to span forward, I feel as though we haven't really seen that much of him, if I'm being perfectly honest.
I agree.
And like John Stevens, 1 or 2 plays, like for short routes, wasn't anything like really to kind of captivate. Like, I honestly think like Fant and Fairweather, I really are pushing Stevens and Spamford down the pecking order.
Interesting.
That's how I'm kind of seeing it as it is right now.
Okay, there we go. There's This is this week's Would You Rather, and what we'll do as well in the regular season, we'll do the Would You Rather. And just so people are aware, because they can join in, I'm also going to give you 5 quick fire questions for every game that week.
Oh, okay. All right, so be sure to check that, folks, especially when we're doing our pre-game show for the Eagles.
That's right.
Yeah, so we'll definitely be doing that then.
So, Paul, just a question before we go then. So with the regular season coming up, are we going to do 2 shows a week?
Well, we'll do a preseason. What we will tend to do, we'll try and do the pre-game show either 1 day or 2 days before the game, and we'll try and do an immediate post-game show. Like, obviously, time difference is key here because obviously we're like, but we'll try and do it as soon as possible.
There we go. I like it.
Give you our reaction. But yeah, but as always here in the World's Team, be sure to go and check us out on social media, etc. Before we do go, Mike, please tell. I can't even speak. Please tell everyone where everyone can find you.
You can find me either on Blogging the Boys or on Twitter /X at Kev the Cowboy. That's Kenvig with a K, Cowboy with a K. And used to be.
It's IMP on X and Instagram. But also big thanks to Cowboys Experience. Remember the discount code World's Team 2025 if you're planning booking your next trip going over to go see the Dallas Cowboys, and also to FanJoe Sportsbook, power on the Bleav network. But also, like I said earlier, make sure you have subscribed to YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts, and follow us on all social media. Links are in the description. And that's it all for today. Cowboys 31, Falcons 13. And we'll see you next time on the World's Team. And just remember, as always, it's not just America's team. It is the World's Team. We'll see you guys next time.
That's a wrap on the World's Team Podcast. Smash that like button and hit subscribe, Cowboys Nation. This ain't just America's team, it's your team.
Touchdown!
It's the World's Team, only on Bleav, where real fans live.
How about them Cowboys?